YouTube? This is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. Just wanted to share with you guys the latest batch of stuff that I've gotten since the last video I recorded. And this time around, I picked up quite a few things. I do have to admit, I splurged a little bit on certain things, but you know, it's becoming a bit of a habit that I hopefully, and I know I've said this like a couple of times, but hopefully I'll be able to cut down. But the reason why it's so much is because it's been a while since I recorded the last video, so I've amassed a couple of things during a week period. And I've gotten them either as a gift or really cheap, so you know, that's the justification I always give when recording one of these. But I do think they are very cool things, and I enjoy getting these, and I enjoy talking about them. So I'm gonna have to cut this into a two-part video. No, forget that. I'm not gonna do a two-part video. I'm just gonna do one video for this batch of things, and then I'm gonna do another video for another batch of things. So yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea. And first thing I want to talk about is I love Godzilla. I grew up watching Godzilla movies. I've mentioned this a couple of times. There was this one channel on TV that would pass a bunch of really bad kung fu movies, a couple of westerns, and Godzilla movies, and you know, those public domain horror movies. But I enjoyed that. I grew up watching that, so I developed a taste for those kind of movies. And I always loved Godzilla. I love the thing. But oddly enough, I don't really have any Godzilla merchandise. I've never come across anything. I've barely come across the movie, so finding Godzilla merchandise has been really hard for me for some reason. The only Godzilla merchandise I've seen readily available is the Godzilla merchandise for that second American remake, which was pretty good, despite the monster fight teases. But that's the close. And I like the Godzilla version on the film, but the Godzilla version that they came out with for the toys was not a big fan of that. However, I was able to get a piece of Godzilla thing, and this is this little Godzilla head. Now, the copyright date says it's 1994, so it was a good 4 years before the first American remake came out. And this is Godzilla, with this big grin there, and I love the Godzilla head. And this was kind of like those Micro Machine, Mighty Max, Polly Pocket kind of thing, where you would open the face, well, the head, and you would have this little space to play around with little figures. And this thing goes up and goes down. But I have no idea what kind of figures this thing came with. My main draw was Godzilla, because I don't have anything Godzilla, and now I have a Godzilla head, which I think is pretty cool. I will find a special spot for this Godzilla, because I like the detail. I like that the eyes are red, and the teeth. It has a very nice detail, so super happy to find good old Godzilla. Anything Godzilla related is cool. For my daughter, I bought a couple of toys. My daughter's still relatively young. She still doesn't really properly play with toys. But I do pick up stuff because she likes, you know, moving them around. Anything that has wheels she really enjoys, or anything that's kind of soft and swishy, because she's at that age where she's, you know, putting everything in her mouth and chewing on it. So I try to find things that you know, will fit that. And I found this thing. This came out about 10 years ago, I think, when Charlie Brown Christmas was celebrating its 40th year anniversary. And right now, Charlie Brown Christmas is like 50 years. So this is 10 years old, and it was still in the bag. But you know, I opened it up, and it's a little. It has Linus there on the, you know, on top of the snowball. And the thing with the snowball is that you know, spin this thing around, and it spins her out like a top. So I got this for my little girl. You know, it's for my girl, so collecting really isn't that important. That's why I opened it. I know sometimes, you know, new still sealed things are worth more, but this is for my daughter, so screw it. And she liked it. She liked the round thing that this thing was, and this part is kind of soft, so she liked. Obviously, I know it's still new on the back, but I still used a disinfecting wipey and passed it through, and you know she plays with that. The other thing I bought for her, like I said, she's big into wheels, so I bought her a Toad cart. This is a McDonald's toy that came out last year, I think. But again, she likes things with wheels, and we bought. We already had Mario, Luigi, Peach, I think Bowser, and Yoshi. Pretty sure Yoshi, but we didn't have a Toad, so got that. Also, again, because she liked wheels, I bought for her this Joker car. Oh. And it has the Joker there, and it says Joker, and it has a Batman thing. And the thing about this one is that if you flip it like that, it revs up. And then when you put it down, well, of course now it's not going to do it in camera, but the thing is that if you put it on a flat surface, if you rev it up a couple of times, maybe you'll do it. No, it's not going to do it. If you rev it up a couple of times and you put it on the floor, it just speeds away. So it goes as far as you actually, you know, rev it up. So I thought it was pretty cool for my daughter, and she still hasn't gotten the hang of, you know, revving it up. I still do it for her, but she likes the fact that it makes sounds, and that eventually it does, you know, go flying through the floor. Also, to add to my wife's miniature Star Wars collection, because I'm really proud that I got her hooked in Star Wars. And she has this little miniature collection going. So, I got for her Luke Skywalker in the Rebel Assault costume. Then we have regular Luke Skywalker. And we have I don't want to break it. It won't go down. There we go. Then we have, well, this looks weird. There we go. Got Han Solo. Young Han Solo. Got a, I think this is a repeat, but this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And also, this might be a repeat. I'm not 100% sure. But, come on. Got for her Anakin Skywalker. So yeah, her little collection is growing quite a bit. So yeah, there's that. Also for my daughter, I picked up. This was a pack from McDonald's just recently, actually, and but when we went to McDonald's, they didn't have the DC superhero girl figures. And I wanted to get Wonder Woman specifically for my daughter. Either Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, or Batgirl, but especially Wonder Woman, because I think Wonder Woman is a good role model for my daughter. Her and X-23. So I wanted to get Wonder Woman, but like I said, every time we went to a McDonald's, they didn't have the DC superhero girls. So I went to a flea market and I found for my daughter the Wonder Woman from that McDonald's set. And the only bummer is that the hand doesn't move. So this thing's like fixed and it's always going to stay like that. The only thing that moves is her hand with the lasso of truth, her waist, and her head. And the hair, I you know, because it was new in the bag. And so I thought it was going to be like plastic, but it's actually like hair. Not, you know, like not just a blob of plastic, it's actually hair. So, you know, once she gets the hang of dolls, she'll comb it or something. But I really, really wanted to get Wonder Woman, and I'm super happy to have found a Wonder Woman for my kid. So, that was cool. Let's talk movies. Because the one thing that I have cut down is on movies. I have not picked up as many as I used to, because I already have a pretty, I like to think I have a pretty decent movie collection, so it's not like I am missing that many titles. But whenever I do come across something, either that's missing on the collection or for my daughter, I do pick it up. This I was missing. I've never seen this. I bought this from Movie Freak Bazaar, which is this Facebook seller that I frequent, and he had this on sale. And this is Fist of Vengeance Martial Arts Collection. It has 16 of those public domain, free budget Bruce Lee knockoff movies. After Bruce Lee died, a whole genre was created of the Bruce Lee knockoffs. You had Bruce L.I. or Bruce Dragon or Dragon Lee. A whole bunch of these Asian actors that were, I don't know if they did it on purpose or it was thrust upon them to be the new Bruce Lees. And one that I remember watching, now of course I'm not going to find it, but I think it might be this one. Bruce Lee fights back from the grave with Bruce Lea, L-E-A. Others I might have seen if I pop this thing in, and it's a something flew off. It's a 4-disc set, so you know it probably has 4 movies per disc to make the 16. It says 23 hours of kung fu goodness, and you know I know that these movies are not going to be that good. I'm fully expecting that these movies not to be that good, but like I said, bad kung fu movies are my bread and butter. I thoroughly enjoy cheesy, as long as it's not boring, because I have seen a couple of kung fu movies that are just boring as hell. That I don't enjoy, but a cheesy, badly dubbed kung fu movie, I enjoy the hell out of that, so I'm hoping this has a lot. And I mean, come on, with titles like Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave, Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers, starring Dragon Lee, the Fists of Bruce Lee, starring Bruce Lee L.I. Which one's another one? The Master with Lee Van Cleef, who you've probably seen in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So this promises to be a lot of probably bad kung fu goodness. For my daughter, I am trying to build for her a Disney collection. Animated movie in general, but mostly Disney's. And I also bought from Movie Freak Bazaar this DVD, Disney Princess Enchanted Tales with Jasmine and Aurora, the Sleeping Beauty. Which is cool, because Sleeping Beauty is my wife's favorite Disney movie. And so yeah, this is perfect for both of them. Now this one, I'm super happy to get the original one. I bought this movie for my wife because it was the Spanish version with subtitles and everything. But I wanted the original one in English. And this movie was pretty freaky. I remember the transformation scene in this was really, really cool. It didn't scare me, but I thought it was really cool how the effects worked out. And I've come to know other people that actually got freaked out by that, and that's The Witches, starring Angelica Houston as the Grand Witch. And she's the leader of this coven of witches, and their master plan is to turn all children into mice. And this one kid in particular finds out about this, and he gets turned into a mice, and he has to, stop them along with her. It's been a while since I watched the movie. I don't remember if it was an elderly aunt or his grandma. Something like that. But, yeah, really, really good movie. The effects were pretty cool. Animatronics, really badass effects. Just a really, really good movie. And I'm super glad to get the original version, because I like getting original versions. Also added Pokemon, because, gotta catch them all. Picked up Pokemon Rise of Darkrai, which is one of many Pokemon movies that have released through the years. Pokemon movies are I don't even know how in one number there are. Last time I checked, I think they were up to 15. So Pokemon movies, I think, literally have come out a movie per year. So also picked up, because last time I picked up Peter Pan, this time I picked up Peter Pan Return to Neverland, which is the straight-to-DVD sequel of Peter Pan, which is not that bad. The problem with most of these Disney sequels, direct-to-DVDs, that they're not that good. Adventures Down Under is one of the greatest exceptions, because that is awesome. This one's not that bad either. I rather like this one, and hopefully my daughter will too. Love Mario Brothers, and a lot of people didn't like the cartoons. I like the cartoons. I still like the cartoons, and I want to collect them all. The only bummer about the DVDs is that they do not have the live action segments. But I picked up the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, one of the many DVDs that are out. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes. But I freaking love the Super Mario Show. And this one says it has Spanish language, so that will be good for my wife. And I also picked up Super Mario World, Koopa's Stone Age Quest. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes. But this one's set in the Super Mario World with Yoshi that came out on the NES. Because the Super Mario Brothers Super Show went through a lot of things. It started off based in the worlds of Super Mario Brothers 2. Then when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out, they adapted the cartoon to that. And then when Super Mario World came out, they adapted that cartoon to that game as well, which is when they introduced Yoshi. But I like it. I grew up watching this, and I get a kick of watching the old Super Mario Brothers cartoons. Only bummer, like I said, is that they do not have the live action segments, which sucks. Bought this on DVD. I'm sorry, on Blu-ray. And this is the very first movie that I went to see with my wife. This was the first time that we went on a date, and we went to see Total Recall, the remake of Total Recall. Not the worst remake I've ever seen. It is a remake, of course, of the classic Schwarzenegger Total Recall, where they go to Mars. In this one, it's in Earth, which is kind of sucks, but it's between Great Britain and Australia. So, because that's the only parts of the world that survived this biological war. And I like the effects. The effects were pretty cool. And I like the twists. It was kind of... It took elements from the original, but it made its own thing, which is the kind of remake I enjoy. I don't like remakes that just rip off the original completely. At the same time, I don't like remakes that deviate too much from the original. That's just it could have been called anything else, but they just slapped in the name to make it have it market value. This one has elements from the original, but it tries to do its own thing. So it's in the middle ground of remakes that I like. Not the best remake, of course, but it's not the worst remake either. So and it has a sentimental value because, again, this is the first movie that I went to see with my wife when we were dating. And it has the unrated and the theatrical cut, plus a demo of God of War Ascension, because it's on Blu-ray. So I thought that was a nice find, got that cheap. Also, been looking for this for a while, and this is the collector's edition of Fight Club. It basically has the same special features that the Blu-ray has, but I'm a sucker for collector's edition, especially the original one, and this is the collector's edition of Fight Club. It has that, and it has the special insert, and the 2 discs with artwork all over the place. And I'm a sucker for these type of collector's editions. Fight Club is pretty cool. I already have Fight Club thanks to a friend, but I've been looking for this collector's edition for a while, and I am super happy to add this to the movie collection. And the last movie I'm going to show is a birthday present that my mom got for me. It was my birthday on Halloween, and my mom always tries to get me something little, something that's within her budget, but something that she knows that I'll appreciate. So she always tries to look for the one thing that I know that I'll enjoy, and she went all out with this birthday present. Anything my mom gives me is appreciated, but this in particular is pretty cool, and this is the complete Superman collection on DVD. The box is a little beat up, but it has Superman the movie, Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And while I already have Superman 1, and I have the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, I did not have the original cut of Superman 2, which is this, where he fights General Zod and teams up with Lex Luthor. Then Superman 3, which is kind of crappy. I like the cover there. Superman 3 is really bad, actually. But it has a really kick-ass fight between Clark Kent and Superman, which is pretty amazing. That alone is worth it. And it has Superman 4, which is not as bad as 3. 3, in my opinion, is the worst. It's the worst movie in the 4-movie series. Quest for Peace, I like it. I like it better than 3, but I didn't have 4, 3, or 2. I have a double one, but I'll keep this together because it's a set, so I might get rid of the other one. But yeah, I love these Superman movies. I think Christopher Reeves is by far the one and only Superman. There have been Supermans before him, and there are Supermans after him. But I have this belief that certain people are born to play something. And Christopher Reeve was born to play Superman. He's my Superman. He's the best Superman. And every time I think of Superman, in my head, Christopher Reeves pops up. And it's super cool to me that, and I appreciate and I thank my mom that she got me this complete Superman collection. Because you could also get it on Blu-ray. But I like the original DVDs. Especially the big box. This one's all nice and shiny, and the Superman collection on Blu-ray is not as pretty, and I like this. This is pretty. Like a good friend Movie John 75 says, this is juicy, and it is. So yeah, super happy to have all these Superman movies. The only Superman movie I'm missing is Supergirl. I do want to get that movie, even though it's not that good, but it's still in the Superman Christopher Reeve universe, so I do want to get Supergirl. But I have never seen that movie, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of little things, and I'm going to cut the video, because then I'm going to talk about the other things. And it's going to be Nerf. I picked up a bunch of Nerf stuff, because Nerf is my new obsession, and I really have to get a hold of that. But here in Mexico, you can find Nerf blasters dirt cheap. I'm not kidding. Dirt cheap. Way cheaper than you could get it used at flea markets in the U.S. or in Goodwills. Really dirt cheap. And that's why even the bigger blasters you can get cheap. And here I don't have any Nerfing competition. The only people that actively search out Nerf guns are the cosplayers, because they repaint them and use them for their costumes. So, but on a good day, I can, with maybe $10, I can walk off with a good amount of blasters. So, I'm going to talk about these little ones, and then I'm going to cut this, and I'll record another video for you guys. But I picked up 3 Jolts. This is a orange Jolt, this is another orange trigger Jolt, and this is a gray trigger Jolt. I don't know really what the difference is. I just thought that this one might have been a different version. I don't need 3 Jolts. I'm definitely going to give one of these Jolts to one of my nephews. I just need, 2 Jolts. The gray trigger one and the regular trigger one. But Jolts are cool. They're small blasters, single shot. You just pull this thing here, and that's how you prime it. And then you shoot. And it's a single shot, but it's small, it's compact. A YouTuber that I watch called Wellcome S7 loves Jolts. I never had come across a Jolt, but now I have 3. But I'm only going to keep 2. One of the blasters that I've seen that I thought were really cool is this Nerf Secret Strike. This is a pump action blaster. You pump this thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Only 5, because that's what the instruction says. And then you push this button here, and it shoots a dart. And it's pretty cool. Comes with this little keychain thing, so you can carry it in your backpack or anything. But 5 pumps, and you got yourself a boom, a nice little blaster shot, which I thought was pretty cool. Picked up some accessories. The cool thing about Nerf is that you can mod it, or you can stick pieces together and make a cool looking blaster. And I picked up these 2 things. This is a grip. You can put it on the front part of a barrel, so you could use it as a grip. And I got this really cool barrel extension. Well, it's cool to me. It's a barrel extension for a Nerf modulus blaster. So yeah, picked up a Star Wars blaster. This is a little better than that kitty-looking one that I picked up before. This is, I want to say, what's the year? 2014. No, it's not. I want to say that this might be a First Order blaster, but it's 2014. Force Awakens released on 2015, so no, this came out a whole year before. So it might be a Stormtrooper one, but it's a Star Wars blaster, single shot. You just pull this thing here to prime it, and then it shoots. But it's Star Wars, so I pick up pretty much anything that's Star Wars related. Picked up this little thing, and I had no idea what it is. A Facebook group mentioned that this is a toy that came out for McDonald's, and it's basically a hot potato thing. You press this little switch here, turn it on, and then it lights up. And then you have to pass it along to people, pass it along, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. And eventually this thing is going to turn off, and, whoever has it in his hands when this thing turns off loses. But I liked it, even though it doesn't last on as much, but I liked it like a little search-like thingy. Picked up this little blaster. This is a Jolt version of Star-Lord's blaster. Nerf, or Hasbro, made an even better one that shoots 4 darts. This one only shoots 1, and the grip is pathetically small. This really is made for really little people. I'm sorry, not little people, for kids, not grown-ups. You can cosplay with this if your life depended on it. But this one came along with the Star-Lord mask that I bought a while back. So, it's a Jolt. It's a Jolt variant. You also pull this prime here, shoot, and it shoots a dart. But I want to track down that adult Star-Lord blaster. Also picked this one up. This is a Chuck E. Cheese's blaster. Not Nerf. Chuck E. Cheese apparently produced its own. I'm guessing this is a prize that you would get in Chuck E. Cheese's. If you've never gone to Chuck E. Cheese's, you go. You can play a couple of games, win some tickets, and exchange them for prizes. I'm guessing this was one of those prizes. It primes by pulling this thing. You pull the trigger here, and it shoots. It sounds like it has a better kick, but it doesn't really shoot that much. The dart place here is really small, so any Nerf darts that I put in extend like this much, and when you shoot, they wobble. I'm thinking maybe if I add a barrel extension here, that will work, or I can just cut off the darts to fit better, but I want to see how that works out, because it sounds like the spring is really good, so it might have a nice kick to it. And the last blaster I'm going to showcase in this video is this Busby Wings Dart Launcher. It's a very compact blaster designed for kids. Nerf has the Rebel subline, which is aimed at girls, and Busby wanted to do the same and release this, which has a bird theme to it. The darts in the Busby Wings line have wings, which supposedly is meant to, this kind of looks like a swan or something. And the wings, that's why this thing has these holes here, so the wings would help it fly longer, but it actually doesn't do it. But it shoots Nerf darts pretty well. So yeah, I'm thinking of giving this to one of my nieces, So I'll give the Jolt to one of my nephews and this to one of my nieces. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this for this video. Lots of really cool stuff. Movie-wise, I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of those Superman movies and the Kung Fu movies, because, again, bad Kung Fu movies, as long as they're not boring, are pretty much my bread and butter. And super happy to add a piece of Godzilla memorabilia, because I don't have anything Godzilla except a couple of movies. I actually want to improve my Godzilla collection. So yeah, this will be this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And until I see you all again, which will be, well, whenever I post the next part. Thanks so much for watching, and this is Vargas XX78, thanking you and signing out.